Hey there, my amazing artists. Sadly, it's a kind of rainy, dull, dark day outside today. Not very fun for going outside. However, it's the perfect kind of day to stay inside and do some painting. But what if you don't have any paints at home? In this awesome art activity, I'm actually going to show you two different ways to use markers to make your own paints. Let's start with our learning target. I can experiment with marker painting. So like I said, my friends, I'm going to show you two different ways. The first way is to use our markers to create our own paints. And the second way is actually using markers to do some printmaking, just like how my second graders have already talked a little bit about printmaking and what that is. So let's go round up our art supplies, find out what we need, and then we'll get started doing some painting today. All right, artists, I've gathered up the art supplies that we're going to need in order for us to try this experiment together. I have some coloring pages that I drew out, or if you don't have coloring pages at home, you can also grab a blank paper, a Sharpie, and a crayon and draw your own coloring page. I have some paintbrushes and obviously our markers that we're going to need. I have a small cup of water to use, and I also have a spray bottle and some aluminum foil. Now, these are the things that I have at home that I know I'm going to need for this project. If you don't have these specific things, for example, if you don't have paintbrushes, that's okay, we can do some finger painting. If you don't have a spray bottle, I'll show you how to use your fingers to spray the water. And if you don't have aluminum foil, you could use instead wax paper or a large Ziploc bag, okay? With that being said, please pause the video here and go find these art supplies. You have to have at least one piece of paper with a coloring page drawing on it, or a blank one you're going to draw. You have to have markers, you have to have water, and something either like aluminum foil, plastic bag, or wax paper. Go grab those things now. Alright, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to start moving some things off to the side that we don't need just yet. I think first of all, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to just draw up a quick little coloring page. I have two over here that I already drew out, but maybe I want to save those for another experiment. Again, you want to use either a Sharpie or a black crayon for this, not a black marker, because that will run when we start to do our painting. So, because we're doing some painting today, maybe my drawing that I'm going to draw up real quickly here should be about painting as well. I'll add a nice paint palette here with some big splats of paint on it. I'm just drawing this idea up really quickly just to show you one idea that you could do. Maybe I'll even add some words or some letters around it. Alright, and just like that, I have a nice simple little coloring page that I can go ahead and start doing my markering on. Now, you should have found something either like aluminum or wax paper. You're going to take out a small little bit of that, nice and carefully. Be very careful of those sharp teeth on the edge there. We're just going to rip that off. This is going to act as our paint palette for this first part. What I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to start selecting out a couple of colors that I might want to paint with. And I'm going to actually color them on my aluminum foil. Again, if you have something like wax paper or a large Ziploc bag, that will work as well for you to color on. Then I'll go ahead and grab up my paintbrush, and I'm going to get a little bit of water, and I'm going to swirl that water right on top of where I just colored with my marker. And look at that. I'm starting to make my own paints. If I want it lighter, I might add a little bit more water into it. Then I can go ahead and paint it right onto my paper, just like that. I have some nice watercolor paints. Rinse out my paintbrush in between colors, grab up another color, and I'll do the same exact thing. Color a nice big spot on my aluminum foil, or again, on your wax paper, or on a plastic bag. I'll grab some water. Oh, need a little bit more than that. And swirl it around to make your paints. This is a great way to make your own watercolor paints at home that you can use for painting in small different areas on your picture. Again, I'll rinse out my brush in between colors, and I can keep going with whatever colors I want. Now again, if you don't have a paintbrush at home, another way to be doing this right now is by doing some finger painting. You can use your finger and dip it in your paints or dip it in your water and use your finger to paint around. And because these markers are washable, they'll wash right off of your fingers later. So if you want to do some finger painting with it, you can. If you don't have paintbrushes, that will work as well. So there's our first way to do some marker painting. And again, I want you to try it all over your coloring page that you make or a coloring page that you have. Our second way, like I said, is called printing, okay? I'm going to clean this up real quickly, and then I'm going to show you what marker printing is. All right, friends, I cleaned up for my marker painting, and now I'm going to show you some marker printing. I'm going to use this other coloring page that I made with my happy little rainbow here. I'm going to go ahead now, and I'm going to actually rip out a much larger piece of my aluminum foil. I want it to be actually a little bit bigger than my sheet of paper is, either this way or I could go this way. Yep, looks like that's a nice big piece. So I'll go ahead and carefully, again, being careful those sharp teeth, I'll rip it right along there. Now, instead of putting the markers on our paper, I'm going to go ahead right now and I'm going to actually move my paper to the side, and I'm going to put all of my colors right here. So maybe I'll go ahead with a little bit of pink over here, and some red. And I want to color in nice, big areas. It's okay if my colors touch each other, or if I leave a little bit of gap in between, that's okay as well. But again, I'm trying to fill out the same nice large space as this piece of paper is. You're not going to be able to control exactly where your colors go. Even though I'm doing stripes right now that are diagonal, it might end up kind of mixing and blending a little bit when I go to print on my paper. Don't worry if there's small little areas where the markers don't quite go. That's probably just where your fingers might have been. And the oil on your skin might cause the marker to not want to go there. But that's okay. Alright, finish up with my last color right now of my big, bright, beautiful rainbow. I'm just going to do a real quick test to see if that's about the same size as my paper. Yep, looks like it. Now, I'm going to spray it to help make it more like paint. Now again, if you don't have a spray bottle, that's okay. You have your cup of water there. You can dip your fingers in and kind of splat it on as well. That's another way to do it, okay? So if you have a spray bottle, give it a couple of good sprays all over. If you don't, go ahead and use your fingers, and you'll see that the colors start to blend a little bit in some places. All right, now is the fun part. Time to give your piece of paper a back massage. You're going to flip it on over, set it right on down into those colors, and then gently rub from the middle out. You can already see some of my colors are coming right through my paper. Are you ready for the magic? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to peel my artwork up. And voila! I have a beautiful rainbow print right there. So again, this is just one of two ways that you can use your markers that you might have at home to do some fun painting, especially on a rainy day. I hope that you have a lot of fun experimenting with these two different marker painting and printing techniques, my friends. I can't wait to see what you friends create.